Okay, this is a presentation of Chapter 15, the use of Weblogs in language education, from the Handbook of Research on Web 2.0 in Second Language Learning. We are Claudia Mesa and Sandra Echeverri.
The use of Weblogs in language education by Thomas RAITH, 2009. This article intends to answer the following question: how far Web 2.0, Weblogs in particular, have changed foreign language learning? The findings of this qualitative study focuses on the relationship between audience of Web 2.0 and learners' writing process.
In this paper, the author analyzes the impact Web 2.0 technology has had on foreign language teaching. However, he focused on the use of Weblogs in the writing in foreign language teaching because Weblogs is the social software application that has gained the most attention in recent years. Since the introduction of blog hosters in 1999, Weblogs have become more accessible, thus the use has increased dramatically. For example, in 2007 there were 70 million weblogs and 120,000 new blogs were being created.
To explain the transformation of language learning between Web 2.0 and language learning, the author explains three different stages considered by Warshauer 2004. The first one is called structural call, which uses drillings and practice activities focusing on correct language use. The second one is the audiolingual and communicative approach that use computer-assisted communicative exercises. And the third one, integrative call, which consider a sociocognitive approach and uses computers for authentic discourse. This is enhanced by Web 2.0, so technology is now used for real communication. Web 2.0 and multiliteracies. Web 2.0 has created new genres, new users, and new identities. Bloggers construct content and are part of a discourse community, and blogs serve as an important source of information. The intercultural communicative competence appears to be relevant in this type of multiliteracies. Hypertexts are considered nonlinear and multimodal environments. They are embedded in cultural diversifications. Foreign language teachers must be prepared for these environments, so new teaching methods are required. The impact of Web 2.0 on language learning can be seen in the following things. Web 2.0 is a read-write web, and the reader can interact or become the author. They become part of a discourse community and interact in a complex multimodal setting. Besides, these new identities and interactions require a wider use of language that goes beyond linguistic skills, because language learning must be viewed from the lenses of multiliteracies. Also, collaboration with an audience is not bound to the classroom anymore. And finally, a genuine audience can motivate students in the writing process. The author states classification of blogs with two different perspectives. According to Campbell 2003, there are three types of blogs: a tutor blog, a learner blog, and a class blog. For Richardson 2006, there are different purposes for using blogs in a class. There are a class portal, an online filing cabinet, e-portfolio, a collaborative space for knowledge management and articulation. The author compares traditional writing and blogging. So, he states the following characteristics. Writing stops, blogging continues. Writing is inside, blogging is outside. Writing is monologue, blogging is conversation. Writing is thesis, blogging is synthesis. Blogging is a new way of writing, so writing as a social interaction.
The author presents the importance of weblogs in the EFL teaching. First, he claims that weblogs demand new genres and new literacies. Weblogs can be used in the foreign language classroom for interactive language learning following a sociocultural paradigm. Besides, weblogs have the potential to extend the audience beyond the classroom and to create new writing communities. To explain the evolution or different approaches to researching and teaching writing, the author draws on Highland 2002. The first approach is called structuralism. This approach focuses on the correct arrangement of elements. For this, the language learning doesn't depend on particular writers or readers, but on correct forms. The second approach is process writing. Here, the writer and the process of creating text is highlighted. Learning writing is a process, thus the focus is on the writing. That's why it's called writer-oriented process. The third one is called purpose audience. Here, in this approach, writing has a purpose and an audience. There is an interaction between the writer and the reader. So, writing is a social construction, and the writer is a member in a community. The author presents a link between the sociocultural approach and the EFL. The author considers that teaching writing as an interaction in a discourse community is one way of implementing the sociocultural approach to the FL classroom. The central concept of sociocultural theory is mediation of higher forms of mental activities. This mediation occurs through interaction with others or artifacts such as technology. Through interaction, meaning is negotiated. There is no distinction between use and knowledge of the foreign language. Experts provide support and help learners reach other levels. Teaching and learning writing using a sociocultural approach means providing learners with opportunities to engage in collaborative discourse community with the goal of social interaction. The following are the characteristics of the study. This was a comparative study and intended to answer the following question: how an online audience influences students in the writing of a reading journal. They chose 29 single case studies. Each accomplished a task, writing a reading journal. 10 students wrote in Weblogs with an immediate audience, and 19 wrote paper reading journals in which the audience was abstract. The data they collected were students' journal, 2 questionnaires, and a guided interview. These are the findings of the research. First, students had a general awareness of audience that they associated with weblogs, but not with paper journals. Second, students' text classified into 3 categories. The first type of texts were summaries of chapters. The second type were summaries of the chapters with added opinion. In the third one, the personal comments were complemented with summaries. The third one says that students who wrote weblogs expressed to a much higher degree their opinions, attitudes, and personal thoughts. However, language was not necessarily better in terms of language accuracy. 4. 80% of the blog writers see an influence of the audience on their writing, whereas 33% of paper journal writers can see an influence of the audience. 5. The majority of paper journal students saw the online audience as the main reason for more reflective and personal writing. There are 2 main conclusions. First, awareness of audience. In weblogs, students are aware of the audience and it influences their writing. Audience is not an artificial construction. The second conclusion refers to meaningful communication. Students in the weblog express their personal opinions and attitudes to a considerably higher degree instead of simply reproducing content through summaries of content.